All right, so let's look into this. You know, a picture says 1,000 words, and I'm not going to give you guys 1,000 words, but I'm going to give you guys my thoughts of Michael Gallup first, and then Cooks, and then Lamb. And Gallup last season, to me, he was rushed. He was rushed into a situation whereas we needed help from him, and we saw some regressions from his game because he was coming from a recovery. So we saw the on and off flow of Michael Gallup. And we can go back to every game and we can look at the games that he played in when he was on point with everything. He looked spectacular. But when he had a short week or it was some of those things that bothered him, he kind of favored the opposite leg. And we saw that he was pressing, and it's difficult. It's flat out difficult to do what Michael Gallup did last season. Now that we got Cooks, it will be a situation for us to allow Michael Gallup to slowly integrate himself back into the fold. The good thing is Gallup around this time wasn't even working out with the team. Let that sink in, Cowboy Nation. So now that you have a piece around Gallup like a Cooks, a Brandin Cooks who can take the top off the defense, who can find the short spots in the zone area, and he's by far a better option than what we had last season around this time. The Noah Browns of the world, and you guys say it with me, the James Washington, right? So you got Brandin Cooks who will bring a level of experience to the table. He is your veteran wide receiver, and he knows the nuances of the game. And I truly believe that he will elevate the people that's around him. Now, let's look at number 88, CeeDee Lamb. A lot of people think that, hey, this is a guy that disappeared in these type of moments. He had a slow start. Yeah, I get all of that. But we got to contextualize the fact that last season was his first time ever having the number one role. And by his starting quarterback being out for 5 games, of course, it took some time for Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb to get on the same page. And I'm not saying that CeeDee Lamb can't handle the responsibilities of being a number one wide receiver. He was drafted to be such, but we have to also contextualize the fact that this dude, that was his first year being in that role completely, and he had a phenomenal year last year. Numbers up there. And for anybody to think that it's not going to be better than what it was last season, shoot, CeeDee Lamb going to bring it to the table. Plus, knowing that you got a healthier Michael Gallup. And then on top of that, you got Brandin Cooks who can take some of the attention and some of the other stresses of this game away. And CeeDee Lamb been working out real good this offseason. Not saying that other guys don't, but when you start to think about it, shoot, he elevated his game every year. And remember his rookie year, he was smaller. Every year he's getting a little bit bigger too, and stronger and wiser and knowledgeable of the game. So I can't wait to see this all together. So you got Lamb, Cooks, Gallup, LCG. I can't wait to see it, baby. Let's go. Post me your thoughts. Post me your concerns down below. And on top of that, just to put the cherry on the top of it, you still got Jalen Tolbert. You still got Simi Fehoko. You got to show us something, Simi. And on top of that, you got Jalen Cropper. I like his tape. I like what he can bring to the table. And you got the Houstons of the world. You have got Dogged Me, a Durden guy that's on this team. So, hey, I love the competition even on the back end. And did I mention Jalen Brooks? He may be somebody that we might be overlooking. So you got a lot of guys in this wide receiver room that, shoot, they're going to have to stand tall. Antonio Callaway. Oh, my goodness. I can go on and on of the guys that's on the back end that's going to have to elevate their game. Post me the guy the unknown, because there's known knowns and there's known unknowns. Let me know who will be the unknown guy that can be the fourth member of the LCG. DC for life. Let's get it. That's Lamb, Cooks, and Gallup for those who don't know.
Simply because you don't have evidence that something does exist does not mean that you have evidence that something doesn't exist. Well, what I'm saying is that there are known knowns and that there are known unknowns, but there's also unknown unknowns. Things we don't know that we don't know. The absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence.